Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, what is your oldest remembrance of the conservatory?
The conservatory's always been there. For 10 years, I weeded by the lily pond there. A girl would email, say 10 o'clock tomorrow, and then we'd all weed for 2 hours. But the state took over, and they're doing a great job. I mean, they're doing
really
everything, you know.
Yes.
So that's the conservatory, and then right next to the aquarium was closed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both Albert Kahn was the designer.
Yeah, the designer.
Both of them. And the aquarium now is doing very well. They've got lots of new fish, and they got a lot of volunteers.
And Albert Kahn had designed a lot of property. He's even designed the Detroit newspapers building, and he designed a lot of.
He did, but Kahn, the Historical Museum has something with Albert Kahn right now.
Hello.
He moved here when he was 7 from Germany, so
Right.
he was a German Jew, and he. Like I started working when I was 12, he was 10, and he was an errand boy at a draftsman place.
Yeah.
And by the time he was 12 or 13, he was at a drafting table.
Yes.
And he never finished school here, but he went back to Germany for some architectural courses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he was 20, he had a firm, Albert Kahn,
Yeah.
and had 50 people.
Right.
So I don't know, but it seems like his business may have done all those buildings with his direction.
With his direction.
That's
institution.
Because he had 50 people.
Yes.
But he just progressed, so well,
As a young age.
Yeah. And
So
I thought he had something to do with the New York tower that was hit by the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had something to do with that. I read that once.
Oh, I will have
Jackie,
to look that
do you want to talk?
Well,
Go ahead.
So, Jackie, what do you remember about your visit to Detroit, Belle
I'm
Isle?
sorry, I have some
What did you-
trouble hearing. Just slowly, what did you ask me?
What do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
remember about
What do you-
Detroit?
Remember about Detroit, Belle Isle, or anything that you want to talk about would be appreciative.
Well, when I finished college, I went to work for the Detroit Welfare Department.
Mm-hmm.
And my caseload was in Black Bottom and Paradise Valley.
Paradise, that's where my parents grew up at.
Yeah. So I remember some of the things there because I made home calls. And, like I remember can't think of the name, but now the big hotel for blacks that was on John R.
Mm-hmm. It was two of them when they, right? Like
Yeah.
two of them, one next to each other, across the street from each other.
Yeah,
They were black owned.
yeah. And, but I came to Belle Isle when I was a kid on the bus with a friend. Then years later, when I drove, then I came frequently. Went to the beach
Yes.
on holidays. I would take my mother to the conservatory.
Mm-hmm.
Always to see the poinsettias at Christmas and tulips and things at Easter. We always did that. Yeah.
So my question is, the difference from today and then, and the way people dress now. What do you think about that? Because how people used to dress in the 1900s.
Styles all changed. Like we wore blue jeans and white shirts,
I
and we
think-
tied shirts.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a little too casual. When I worked for the welfare department, my supervisor insisted that we dress appropriately.
Professional. Yeah.
Never, always skirts, dresses.
But everybody had that. I mean, every office you wore a
That
suit.
was like 1951.
Right.
Too.
It didn't change till like in the 70s.
Well, it happened out west.
But I still think that you should dress for the place.
For the
that you're
place.
going. You know, I don't mean you have to be dressed up all the time, but to dress appropriately for
But
whatever
girls
the
weren't allowed to
place
wear
is.
pants.
Right,
I mean, that was a no-no.
right.
No.
And know who did it? Who designed the Apple? The guy that died.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs changed. His
Yes.
business became the campus
His corporate.
out west. Yes.
Changed the.
Got more casual.
Yes, he changed. I was talking to someone today about that, and we spoke about that. My daughter, actually, she got a job at the new mortgage place now,
Oh, what Ross?
Quicken Loans.
Quicken Loans used to be Ross, and then it changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, and I was saying, you know, the uniforms now is not the uniforms. She went to private school. It's not the uniforms as the past. So you had to wear suits and pleated skirts and this and that. So now she don't have to dress that way, but she will go in there that way.
But what's happening now, I think they're trying to change it, because I don't know if you watch CBS, but Nate used to be a Detroit Lion. He's one of the people on it. I've never seen a guy fit in a suit so well. I mean, his suits are tailor-made, I'm sure. But
yeah.
evidently some companies are trying to get the men back in suits, you know.
The football league and the basketball leagues are doing that. They said you can't come unless you suited up now. They started that about like 6 years ago.
You know, like if anybody interviews
Professional.
on television, they have a tie and
A professional
coat and blue
vision.
jeans.
That's right.
You know, if you see their knees there in blue jeans.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna see that. They gonna show the top half. They may have slippers on the pajama pants.
But Belle Isle, every Christmas they had a holiday party where we went to the casino, we went to the nature center, we went to the boat club, and the churches were singing there, and they were also where the canoes are
Yes.
and the casino. And for 20 years, before Christmas, we had a walk, a 5-mile walk. Lots of people met at the casino at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And we walked 5 miles around part of Belle Isle.
Man, that's something. How we used to
They
ride
still
the
do
horses.
it, but I haven't done it recently.
It was a carriage. When I grew up here, we had a carriages and the horse pony ride. Cause I'm 62 now.
Yeah.
And with pony rides and things, and we used to come out here. This was
Red
like
horses.
it was like a big thing. Yeah, it was like a big thing as a family. It was 6 of us.
Yeah. Oh, that Belle Isle, I've always loved Belle Isle. I mean,
Yes.
We took 3 buses from Lennox and Verner. We took
To get here.
And we took the Verner bus, the Boulevard bus, and the Belle Isle bus.
And the Belle Isle bus to bring you directly.
There is a bus now, though, that comes down Van Dyke and goes over to the casino in Aquarium. That's the end of the route.
Remember the bus stop, the bus thing when you first got on Belle Isle? It was on the left side when you coming in. They had this little thing, and then when the riot came, they used it as housing people for jail.
Oh, the riot was
When the riot
amazing.
came, they used that. Yeah,
That was 68.
67, 68. Yeah,
No, I want to say 66, maybe.
it was right there. It was right there.
Because we tried to come to Belle Isle that day, and I had a baby and a 12-year-old. And he kept saying, tell them you belong to the yacht club, because they weren't letting people in. But
They brought a lot of the prisoners. They put them in the bathhouse.
Right, the bathhouse.
Jail was full, and there's that thing again.
well, he's taping us.
I worked on a project that was federally financed for a year about the riot.
Yeah, the riots were...
And I remember the riot in 46.
yeah.
46?
It was, yeah.
What was happening in 46?
There was a riot way back.
Or was it 43?
No, I was
don't
older.
remember if it was 40. I was in high school.
But I graduated in 48.
Yeah.
And you probably graduated
I graduated in
46.
46.
Yeah.
So I think the riot was 43.
Here?
No, not well, yeah, it started
After the war
on the
began, it was?
bridge. Yeah, there was a rumor that somebody thrown a baby off the bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing
Yeah,
about
we had a
that.
ride, and my uncle was a debit man over on Davison.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys put him in the car and hit him and drove him out of town so he didn't get attacked
Wow.
over by the, Woodward and the Boulevard area. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the area I grew up in, and I went to Mumford High School. I got out in '78.
Well, Mumford was the black high school, wasn't it? At that time when I
Yeah.
were kids?
In '78,
Yeah.
I graduated from there, but before then, it wasn't black. Like I grew up on Lawrence and Dexter,
Yeah.
and that was mostly Jewish
Yeah.
growing up. Because when we moved in there in like '62, they were mostly Jewish.
Yeah, the Jews
Okay.
moved on the west side of town. There weren't many on the east side.
Yeah, but
And
my
I
auntie
worked
lived
at
on the east
Motorola
side.
right by Wayne State.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, so and so's Jewish. And I said, how can you tell? And they said, look at her.
Look at them.
And
Right.
I'm looking at her. I'm still trying to figure out.
But you didn't know the
No.
distinction that they looked at, that they knew.
Yeah, something about her nose. She can't remember.
So tell me, what are your ancestors? Have y'all done any ancestry check on where y'all come from, your original roots?
My both parents came from Brown City, Michigan. They were on the farm there.
And their parents came from they grew up in Brown City?
Before that, our relatives came to Canada from Italy and France.
Mm-hmm.
They lived in a town that changed, every war changed.
Yeah,
It
trajectory.
belonged to Germany, it belonged to France.
Yeah.
And they went to Canada, and then they came over to Croswell, and they had a cheese factory.
Mm-hmm.
And they later bought farms, and that's where my
Your
parents-
family had a cheese factory?
But that's several generations.
What name was it?
I don't know. It was in Croswell.
In Croswell? That is
Near
awesome.
Lexington, Michigan.
So have you ever tried to do a DNA testing or anything like
No.
that? And your grandkids or great grandkids, anybody ever tried anything like that? So my niece is doing that with our family on my father's side because it's real shadowly, and she's found a whole lot of different things that we didn't know. So that would be a great thing for you all to do, or have instill this in somebody in younger age in your family. Because one thing I've learned is, I'm 62, but there's things that when I was a kid that I didn't know that was bothering me, that my subconscious hid it. And they're coming up now. You know what I'm saying? And so to be able to, for youth now to find out where they became, or where they begat.
Yeah, but we can't change anything that happened.
No. It's not changing. It's acknowledgement and recognizing where you become, or where you began.
Both my parents only went to 8th grade. They walked to school.
Yeah.
They never went to high
Yeah.
school.
But what are we? Are we human? Human what? We're human what?
Human beings.
And what are we doing? We're being
Yeah.
human.
Well, I read, things like books about the South that, like Georgia, during way back when, where they had slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And even the girls could do needlepoint, but they couldn't sew.
Right.
But the slaves could sew.
Yeah.
Not the people that lived in the house.
That lived in a house.
Life was so different for them. The more I've read about it, the sadder it makes you feel.
But But okay, I understand that. But the emotions that you have as growing as we are, and being adults and being human, we are now a wealth of knowledge for those to come.
At 11:30.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whatever we talking about today is going to be knowledge for those that come behind us.
But I'm
Enlightenment.
I've always felt that I don't know much about my background.
Right.
I've learned only that it's German, Irish, English, and Scotch. I have no idea what generation came from where to this country. I don't know anything beyond my grandparents.
You can come after.
But you know their names.
Always kind of regretted that.
But you know their names because you could do research now.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
I know their names.
This guy's interviewing us, so I don't want to talk.
That's amazing, because with the technology now that we have now, we can now dig into our existence past what we know. But my niece is doing it now with my grandfather's side. And I know stories that my uncles told me, just like you all know stories that your aunties, your uncles, your cousins told y'all that would help your great-grandniece, your great-great-niece, your uncle, your whatever, you know what I'm saying, to do the DNA testing or do the root testing that can tell you how to fill in the blanks. So like my niece is going through, I can't remember what it is, but it's an app.
Yeah.
Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
And they have information, but it links up. And so like say you go on there and you put your name, your birthday, and blah, 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 your city, and you answer these questions. Then it'll start showing you, because they got the DNA and the census.
I know, but it's like we had someone that ran CBS or something out in California, but it doesn't really matter, you know, that they had this great job. I mean, it was, you know, generations before.
The thing is to get the information on who your mama was, who your mother's mother was, who your mother's father was, for the answers to those that come behind us.
But why?
Because it makes them whole.
See, I think it's interesting, but I don't think it's going to change. I mean, like when we went to
what are you going to change?
There was no plumbing. We had an outhouse. Look how we've
exactly.
Far. We had no phones. We had just radio. You know?
But you have technology is one thing, but personal wholeness is another thing.
I don't get that.
Peace and joy is what God gives us.
Yeah.
That is where we are to exist and exhume. And that is what your ancestors, when you're laid to rest and go to your next transition, those that know you and did not know you, know of you, will want to know who were you? How were you? How did you progress?
I've been going to a Bible class, and we just did, you know, the guy that did the boat and took all the animals and put them on the boat, and then 40 days, 40 nights it rained. But I didn't know prior to that, God said he was going to kill everybody with the flood because everybody was so corrupt.
But that was then.
Yeah. And then the only one was his three daughters, three sons and their wives, his wife, him, and all the animals and things they had on the ark. You know.
So what is your religion?
I'm not religious, but I go to Bible class.
And what is your belief?
I don't have much belief.
I love you. I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
I'm trying, but...
I grew up Catholic. And then I went into Methodism. I've been a local preacher. I've done all kind of things. But in my whole totally 62-year-old existence, I believe that God or the universe created us to live, enjoy life, and inspire life. And that's what I believe. And enjoy the beauty of life. Just like right now, I just looked over there and seen those flowers. And the kids playing. And to me, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of life.
Well, we love Belle. Like, we come, if Jacky's on the phone, I'm in my car, and we come 2 or 3 times a week. We walk here, we walk by the athletic building, we walk by the lighthouse. You know, that's another Albert Kahn. The lighthouse is Albert Kahn, and it's marble. And it's just beautiful walk.
That's over there where, okay, so I know exactly where that's at.
Also, last Friday we were at the river walk.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm so glad I stopped you guys because it's really amazing. I really love to speak to you all, and I'm really inspired and empowered by you all because it actually showed me how what I'm doing or what God has really put inside of me is really for real. And I really believe that. He wants me to talk to people. Love y'all.
We're lucky old ladies.
Y'all blessed old ladies.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you all.
We're walking and we're talking.
And breathing. God bless y'all.
Walking, that's our thing.
I love it.
Here.
All right, y'all be safe. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.